Hi, and thanks for coming back to Living in the HOA. For those of you that have been here before, you know that what we do is we cover a lot of things about HOAs, how they're managed, what they're about, but especially the green infrastructure in the community that the HOA is responsible for managing. For those of you that haven't been here before, I'm going to talk a little bit today about a really special topic and something that is very important that we should realize what has been going on over the last few years, and that is the perception of HOAs that people have, that the HOA is something terrible, that the HOA is taking away our rights as Americans, and when we live in an HOA that we give up all of our rights, and somebody is lording it over us, and they are running our lives and controlling our property and all this. So I want to talk a little bit about that today, because I feel that that is a very corrosive thing that happens in an HOA. It corrodes your view of the HOA and what the HOA is about, and the value of the HOA. So when I was a real estate broker several years ago, when I would go out with a client and show them houses, the question always came up, well, is there an HOA here? And it was the person had a sort of a preconceived idea of what an HOA is and what an HOA does. And it was asked in a very negative way. Oh, is there one here? Do I have to deal with an HOA? And what do I do with this HOA thing that's here? And it sort of permeated the real estate industry with the agents and brokers and everyone else that is involved in marketing houses and getting people into the houses that they need for their families. And so if you'd ask an agent or a broker if they have any houses, and they'll say, well, yeah, but there's an HOA, but there's an HOA, but you're going to have to deal with an HOA. Well, that is so negative, and I think it has a connotation that is bad for the person that is buying the home, as well as the HOA itself, because you're entering into this relationship, a very important relationship, with a negative attitude and a perception that everything is bad and you're going to have a bad experience. HOAs are not that way. Actually, HOAs have a very important role to play in the value of your home. Their fiduciary duty and what is explicitly said in the documents that establish the community and the HOA is that the purpose of the HOA is to protect your property's value and protect overall all of the property's values in the community. And it's to help ensure the desirability of the properties, to keep it up, to make it look good, because they know that eventually you're going to be selling that home and you want it to be desirable and the community to be desirable. As a matter of fact, something that we have to realize is that buyers don't just buy a home, they buy a community. As they are coming in to look at the home, they look at all of the other homes around it. They look at the streets, they look at the common areas, the playgrounds, and all the other amenities that are in that community. And so they're actually buying a community, not just a home. Yes, the home has to fit their needs and it has to be what they want, but they're actually buying a community. If the community is run down, if it's unattractive, if it's not well maintained, the buyers will more than likely say, well, do we have any other homes that we can look at? We'd like to go look in another community and see what the homes are like in another community. So usually this attitude comes from hearsay, from somebody saying something about HOAs, a person that has had a bad experience with an HOA, or they had something they wanted to do and it was outside the documents, it was outside what was allowed in that community and what is accepted by the people in that community. And so it sort of started them off with a negative attitude about the HOA, even though the HOA's purpose is to protect their property's value and to help it stay desirable. So it could be from one person's prior experience. Something else I want you to notice: if you'll just go into YouTube today and put in the search criteria, search an HOA, search living in an HOA or HOA, and just see what comes up with all the videos. They are all so negative. It's like there's this attempt to try to make the HOAs a negative experience when HOAs are actually for your good and for your property's values good. And for whatever reason, this negative attitude or thought pattern about HOAs is very prevalent, and you have to be careful about it because it is a corrosive thing. It starts you out on a negative footing when you're buying a home or when you're moving into a home that's in an HOA. So this is something I wanted to warn people about and to talk a little bit about, because it usually comes from one person's experience or one video that they put up and you see, and then it gets into the algorithm and you get more negative HOA videos and more and more and more. And it's very rare that you see positive videos about HOAs. Well, in this channel, Living in the HOA, you're going to get positive information and realistic information and truths about HOAs. I have been on the board of my HOA in the past and have helped the community and looked at their landscaping and helped maintain the community. And because it was a fiduciary duty I had, it was a responsibility that I had for the rest of the community. It is important. It's like being an investment advisor. You are doing things for the good and the benefit of everybody in that community. And so HOAs are tremendously important. They help maintain the value of your property and how it looks, and so that you can sell it again in the future. On average, up until a couple of years ago, people would move about every 6 or 7 years in a residential development. They would sell and they would move to... I apologize, my phone overheated. This is Arizona, you know, and it's very hot right now. It's about 111 degrees outside, so my phone overheated and stopped on me, so I apologize for that. But anyway, I just wanted to cover this information for you and talk with you about that problematic situation where the news of HOAs or information about HOAs can infect your thinking and infect your attitudes about HOAs. So that's a very important topic, it's this negative attitude about HOAs is very, very prevalent, and I just wanted to caution you about that and to talk about it for just a moment. Because in my view, and on this channel, HOAs are good things, and HOAs are there to protect the value of our properties. So that's very important to me as a homeowner, and it's very important to everybody else in the community as homeowners. So that is the topic I wanted to cover today and talk with you briefly about. And if you have any questions about that, if you've had a bad experience, or if you are wondering about what HOAs are really about, subscribe to this channel and make some comments. Put comments in about this video and ask questions. I'll be glad to respond to you. I respond to every question that's asked. So if you don't mind doing that, I would greatly appreciate it. And we will see you in the next video. Thank you.